Frog. Frogs are the most historically documented victims of animal rain. Swept up by tornadic updrafts, these lightweight amphibians can freeze in the upper atmosphere, eventually plummeting back to Earth completely encased in hail. Small fish. Small fish are the most common aquatic animals dropped from the sky. Sucked from shallow waters by waterspouts, they frequently transport miles inland before blanketing surprised coastal towns. Lluvia de Peces. Lluvia de Peces is an annual phenomenon in Lloro, Honduras, where thousands of fish rain down after heavy spring storms. Locals celebrate this bizarre event with a massive festival, gathering the fish for community feasts. Blind cavefish. In a strange twist to the Honduran fish rains, scientists note that many falling fish are entirely blind. This suggests waterspouts might actually be pulling them from subterranean river systems rather than the open ocean. Spiders. Raining spiders are caused by a mass migration technique called ballooning. Millions of spiders shoot silk threads into the wind, carrying them into the atmosphere before falling back down, often blanketing entire towns in thick webbing. Earthworms. Earthworms have been documented raining over Louisiana and Norway. While some are dropped by windstorms, others are actually driven to the surface by heavy rain, tricking people into believing they fell directly from the cloud. The Kentucky meat shower. The Kentucky meat shower. In 1876, chunks of mystery meat rained over a Kentucky farm. Scientists later concluded the flesh was likely regurgitated by a flock of frightened vultures soaring overhead, rather than a meteorological anomaly. Blood rain. Blood rain, terrifying showers of red rain have caused panic for centuries. This phenomenon is actually caused by airborne red microalgae spores, or iron-rich Saharan dust mixing with storm clouds, falling as crimson-colored water. Waterspouts. Waterspouts drive most aquatic animal rains. These vortexes form over oceans and lakes, acting like massive vacuums that suck surface-swimming creatures directly into storm clouds. Tornadic updrafts. Tornadic updrafts are the terrestrial equivalent of waterspouts. These powerful wind currents sweep across land, lifting lightweight animals like frogs, insects, and rodents miles into the air before their eventual violent return. Jellyfish. Jellyfish. In an exceptionally rare 1894 incident, a shower of jellyfish fell on Bath, England. Because jellyfish are almost entirely water, they were easily swept up by a coastal storm and dropped miles inland over the city. Squids and octopuses. Severe typhoons have been known to pull squids and octopuses from the ocean. In 2018, citizens of Qingdao, China, witnessed these heavy cephalopods smashing into car windshields after being thrown by extreme coastal winds. Starfish. Starfish are occasionally scooped up during intense cyclones. Their rigid, heavy bodies become dangerous, recognizable projectiles when they finally plummet onto suburban streets. Shrimp. Shrimp were documented falling in Australia after a localized storm. Baffled residents stepped outside to find thousands of live shrimp flopping in rain puddles, having survived their terrifying journey through the clouds. Crabs. Fierce winds have carried crabs completely over seawalls. Their hard exoskeletons allow them to survive the initial lift from the water, though the violent impact onto coastal roofs usually destroys them. Snails. In the 19th century, heavy storms dropped thousands of snails across Algiers. Observers were shocked to find entire fields coated with the shelled mollusks, proving that updrafts easily carry small, hard-shelled invertebrates. Mussels. A bizarre updraft over Paderborn, Germany, once dropped hundreds of live mussels. Because they close their shells tightly when exposed to air, many survived the atmospheric journey and were found fully intact on the streets. Snakes. In a terrifying 1877 event, thousands of snakes rained down on Memphis, Tennessee. Swept up by a localized tornado, the reptiles plummeted onto rooftops and city blocks, creating a massive panic among residents. Turtles. Both ancient historians and modern storm chasers report turtles falling from the sky. These heavy reptiles are occasionally thrown from coastal waters, easily shattering glass upon impact. Lizard. Lizards were documented falling over Montreal in the 1850s. Like frogs, these small reptiles were likely pulled from their habitats by a violent updraft, freezing in the atmosphere before plummeting back to the streets. Iguanas. Florida's famous raining iguanas are not caused by wind. When temperatures drop below 40 degrees, these cold-blooded reptiles enter a paralyzed state, losing their grip and falling from trees onto sidewalks like green rain. In a strange 1578 Norwegian event, thousands of yellow mice reportedly fell from the cloud. While likely exaggerated over centuries, modern meteorologists believe tornadic winds easily sweep up dense populations of small rodents. Bats. Bats sometimes fall in terrifying numbers during extreme heat wave. Unable to regulate their body temperatures, thousands of bats can suffer synchronized heat stroke, plummeting from their roosts in a macabre rain of bodies. Blackbirds. During a notorious 2011 event in Arkansas, thousands of dead blackbirds rained down on New Year's Eve. Scientists concluded that loud fireworks panicked the flock into a fatal night flight, causing massive mid-air collisions. Ducks and geese. Ducks and geese are often the tragic victims of high-altitude hailstorms or lightning strikes. Struck mid-migration, entire flocks of these heavy birds have plummeted into residential neighborhoods without warning. Birds of prey. Drops. Sometimes raining animals are actually just drop prey. Large birds like eagles and hawks frequently lose their grip on snakes, fish, or rodents mid-flight, dropping them directly onto surprised pedestrians. Toads. Toads, often confused with frogs, toads were historically documented falling on a French village in 1794. Soldiers stationed nearby reported a sudden, heavy shower of the amphibians, completely covering their hats and uniform. Tadpoles. In 2009, a bizarre rain of tadpoles coated cars and streets across central Japan. Meteorologists suspect localized waterspouts vacuumed the amphibians directly out of shallow rice paddies before dropping them on the city. Mud puppies. Mud puppies, a type of aquatic salamander, have been reported falling in parts of the United States. Their slimy, lung-breathing bodies allow them to survive briefly outside water after being violently relocated by storm. Maggots. Showers of maggots are a disgusting phenomenon, usually linked to localized winds sweeping up rotting material. However, they are occasionally the result of heavy rain washing larvae out of overflowing gutters and roof spaces. Caterpillars. Recorded in historical Fortean archive, raining caterpillars occur when high winds strip thousands of the insects from forest canopies. They are then carried miles away before dropping onto deeply confused observers. Locusts. Locust swarms are so dense they appear to literally rain from the sky. Both biblical accounts and modern events describe millions of the insects blocking out the sun before plummeting downward to consume entire crops. Crickets. crickets are sometimes swept up and dropped by intense microbursts. Because they jump en masse when startled by approaching storms, they are easily caught by sudden updrafts and deposited miles away. Cats and dogs. The famous idiom, raining cats and dogs, traces back to 17th century England. Heavy storms would flood the filthy streets, sweeping away stray animals whose bodies were later found scattered, looking as if they fell from the clouds. Star jelly. Star jelly is a mysterious, gelatinous substance often found after meteor showers and animal rains. Scientists believe it is actually the regurgitated remains of frog and toad oviducts left behind by airborne predators. The Super Sargasso Sea. In the early 20th century, author Charles Fort proposed the Super Sargasso Sea. He wildly theorized that a floating, atmospheric dimension occasionally opened up, dumping its stored collection of frogs, fish, and strange artifacts onto Earth. Spontaneous generation. Ancient Greek and Roman philosophers believed raining animals were the result of spontaneous generation.